Saints Row 2 is a third-person open-world action game developed by Volition. It was published by Deep Silver. Yeah, the same people who published the Metro games. Trust me, it's a coincidence. It was released in 2009 and, more importantly, just a month after GTA 4, a direct competitor in the open-world games at the time. So, let's see how it fares. Also, I'll add the fact that I've never played the first Saints Row, though I've heard it was less of a GTA competitor and more of a bad GTA clone. Yeah, not off to a good way to get off the ground. Just a warning, we're going through the full game here, so spoilers ahead. We start off in a prison hospital, where it seems our character's been in a coma for an unspecified amount of time. A fire's referenced, and it's also the reason given why we're able to create a new character, even though we're playing as the protagonist of the first game. The game earns its first brownie points for me by having a pretty intense customization system, especially for the time. You can customize pretty much everything about yourself. The way you look, the way you walk, the way you talk. No, seriously, the way you talk. The game has literally 6 different voices that you can use. And I'm not talking about pitch shifting either. It's literally 6 different voices. 3 male, 3 female. The main focus is put on the face customization, however. While body customization basically is all about general body shapes, the face customization boasts a load of sliders in another load of submenus. It's impressive to see. So, as if there's any real choice in the matter, I created a Shrek cosplayer, who has an accent to accompany him. Let's call him Shrek.
Yes, that looks like it healed nicely.
We wake up from our beauty sleep and it seems that we already have a friend on the inside. A wannabe gangster named Carlos. We probably haven't even used our legs for months, yet here we are not only standing up but also beating up prison guards. Shrek also runs out of the prison, pistols akimbo, murdering anyone who looks at him the wrong way, or even looks at him, or really even if they have any sight. Though he wouldn't really discriminate against blind people either, and he would probably kill them as well. We reach a boat and we immediately get an LMG, with which we shoot down police helicopters and destroy boats. We make it back to the mainland and we're completely unleashed to do whatever we want. We start the next mission immediately, which demands us to get some new clothes. I guess orange isn't in at the moment or something. When reaching the clothes store we encounter an issue. The menu's totally glitched out. I guess we need to restart the game. So we start the game again, start the mission, go to the store, and luckily it works this time. Holy fuck, even the clothing customization's totally top notch. Not only do you have a load of options for clothing, but you also have an option for layered clothing, like coats, overshirts, undershirts, underwear, bras, and socks. But you also have the option of wearing wristbands, eyewear, jewelry, and so on. Even to this day, I cannot think of any game truly embracing such customization. But not only this, all clothing allows you to change individual colors, usually 3 different parts of the item of clothing. With that, you might also have the choice to add a logo, change the color scheme patterns, or change whether your shirt's buttoned up or not. This is going above and beyond, seriously. I'm poor, so I get some dirty jeans and a dirty white undershirt to start off my Shrek cosplay. Anyways, like we all have done after we've escaped prison, we go to a strip club to have a drink. We see on the TV that Johnny Gat is in court to be sentenced for all of his crimes. All of his crimes being a very polite way of saying that the man's a genocidal maniac. Shrek gets into a fight and we rush off to the courthouse to bail out our main man Gat. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm actually running a mod with this game. A pretty significant one as well, I might add. Gentlemen of the Row is a mod that aims to unfuck the clusterfuck of a PC port that Saints Row 2 is. But it doesn't only do that, it also adds a lot of new content, so I can't honestly say that I know what content is from the base game and what is from the mod. I only know that most of the cribs are from the mod, but that's about it. So inadvertently, this will also be a pseudo review of the mod as well. We bail out Gat and he fills us in on what's happened between the end of the first game and right now. Basically, it's just a bunch of gibberish to me. We drop Gat off and we are forced to deal with a seemingly big part of the game, which in reality is not a huge obstacle. To start off a mission from now on, you need respect. How much respect? Enough to fill up that purple bar underneath that weapon wheel and the health bar. How do we get that respect? You can do almost everything. Get a headshot on an enemy, that's respect. Kill an enemy, that's respect. Drive dangerously, That's more respect. To maximize those earnings though, you need to do those things as often or as long as possible to get a combo of sorts. The better the combo, the more respect you earn. You'll casually see me earning respect throughout the game, and the star system will be shown on the right side of the screen, but the main way to earn respect is through activities. The game has a fuck ton of these, so off to do some activities. First activity, Septic Avenger. This is also coincidentally one of the best activities and one of the most unique ones as well. A person drives a septic truck while you spray marked buildings, cars, and people to cause damage. Cause enough monetary damage and you proceed to the next level. It's a glorified turret section, but it's the theme that makes it so fun. All the activities have 6 levels to them, escalating in difficulty and rewards. The amount of money you earn is pretty negligible, $9,350 to be exact. But the amount of respect you earn is enough to do 7 missions. So it's more than generous with what it gives you to continue the game merrily, if all you care about is the main story. As a quick aside, all activities in all locations give you extra unlockables, whether it's better accuracy, new contacts on your phone, new weapons, whatever. You get something more than money and respect. Something which actually made me interested in doing a fair few of these activities. 25 minutes of septic work later, we proceed to the next activity. The Fight Club. Basically we just beat people to death. Yeah, it's a fight to the death in the spoof UFC arena, aptly named FUC. We might as well talk about the melee combat system, which is simple but still more complicated than I'd have expected. Left and right click let you punch someone with a left and right fist respectively. Hit someone 3 times in a row and you get a canned animation, which are all ridiculously satisfying to watch with plenty of force behind them. Even though it's less of a combo system, since from what I've seen, the animation being shown is completely random. The melee weapons are more simple, with just simple hits and no canned animations for combos. But that's not all. You can grab items from the environment, things like certain trash cans, cinder blocks, bricks and so on, and either bash people with them or throw them. I think it's one of the areas that the mod added extra clutter for. The real issue here is that you can never really be sure of what you pick up until you check them yourself. It's very inconsistent on that front. And what's even worse, there's barely any reason to use the melee in the game. The main focus is instead on the guns. Next activity, Fuzz. You dress up as a cop and stop crimes. But what makes it different from the GTA's cop diversion is that you're actually being filmed for a TV show about the daily life of cops. And obviously weird hijinks ensue. It's another great activity. Maybe the game truly has just really fun activities. And Crash. As for the last activity for this stretch, I tried out the races. They're boring and shit. No, honestly, they are. They emphasize the worst parts about the driving in the game, and they're just boring in general. As an extra, I had to race a bike. I'm not sure what it is with bikes in and around 2000 and 2009 games, but they were just really shit. In GTA 4 they were slow and they slided all around. In Saints Row 2 they're slow and stiff. None of this fun darting around the place with a glass cannon. It's disappointing. Let's continue with the main story. We need a gang hideout. Gat suggests the local mission house. We reach the mission house in the underground part of the city, and serve people their eviction notices with our trusty shotgun. We have to destroy some shacks as well, which is such an annoying task. How do you even destroy them? First I used my bat, which kind of worked. Then I tried my gun, which seemed to work once, yet I got stuck really quick. I thought that maybe it was a glitch in the game, when I finally saw a ragdoll fly into a shack which completely crumbled to his gravitational might. Fuck, this is the dumbest shit. Anyway, the job's done, things are looking on the up and up. We customize the look of the gang and our gang vehicles, and start the next mission. Honestly, the gang customization's totally fine, but compared to all the other customization, it's lacking. but all that shows is that I'm already spoiled by what I've been provided with so far. So, we have to assemble a core group of lieutenants. Shrek suggests Carlos, the guy who saved us, and Gat suggests Pierce, a puffed up gangster with genuine talent for gang warfare, and also Shondi, a classic 2000s MTV style stoner with an unrivaled network of ex-boyfriends, all of whom act as informants. Oh, quickly mentioning, there's a tagging site thing. Basically fill in an area and don't color over the edges and you've successfully tagged it. The mouse controls for it are iffy at best, and it's generally just boring filler. Anyways, to get them all aboard, we need to impress them. Carlos wants us to help him tow a car. Pierce wants us to fuck up some gangsters, and Shondi wants us to do some stunt jumps. Okay, other than Pierce, these are some weird requirements for us to prove ourselves, but alright. Back at Fort Saint, we see that Gat's gotten us a crew of random gangsters, so we can start our expansion to become the force to be reckoned with. There are 3 major gangs in the city, so Shrek assigns each gang to each of the new lieutenants. Shondi takes the Sons of Samdi, Pierce takes the Ronin, and Carlos takes the Brotherhood. The game now allows us to tackle any gang we want. All gangs have a storyline, but to keep the story coherent, we're gonna take one gang at a time. Sons of Samdi are the first to be tackled. Shondi says that there's a drug called Loa Dust, which is extremely popular right now. So we need to get our hands on it, produce it as well, and undercut the competition. Easy enough. We go to the university district and the game crashes. Fuck. Okay. Anyways, we kill the 3 groups of dealers for 3 stashes. After most missions, we also get a cutscene with the gang, which are usually the most interesting cutscenes. Sons of Samdi are a classic voodoo, drugs, and accents type of gang. They're led by a man named The General, who we almost always see in his green limo. His right-hand man is Mr. Sunshine, a man who's anything but sunshine and rainbows. But the dealers are mainly managed by DJ Veteran Child, a washed-up DJ. Regardless, threats are made and a small fire is lit under Veteran Child's pasty white ass. After retrieving the Loa Dust, Shondi says we need a professional who can analyze the composition of the drug. All we need to do is break her out of prison. So we need to blow up the prison generator and we're golden.
Hey Shondi, I rigged up that bomb you wanted.
You should probably hurry.
Guess we need to do that sooner rather than later. After blowing up the generator, I get tased and arrested. Ignore that. After blowing up the generator, we get our chemist, who's obviously a middle-aged mom. Honestly, this just increases my trust in her. We hijack a helicopter and fly to her place. This is one thing that Saints Row also nails. It fades to black whenever the main action's done in the mission, so unlike GTA, you don't actually have to transport people after a mission or anything like that. Might seem minor, but this will save tens of minutes of pointless filler, if not even hours. Right, we've got the composition of the drug. Now we need to cripple the Samdi production. So Shrek enlists the help of Tobias, the young hunk who wants to repay us for freeing the chemist. An interesting relationship, but it's oddly wholesome and healthy. We fortunate sign our way to the drug fields and blow them up. We also kill 4 of the Samdi lieutenants. This starts a weird trend of showing that all the other gangs have dozens of lieutenants, while we have Carlos, Shondi, Pierce, and Gat. The general isn't happy about what happened, and so Veteran Child's ass fires turned into an ass blaze. Let's shop for clothes. So we bought ourselves a belt, that we'll never see, iconic Shrek pads, slippers that look similar enough to the OG, and we also get a similar looking overshirt, which is the best I could find at the time to look like Shrek's coat. I'm just a cosplayer after all. Shrek gets into a bit of a pickle? Anyways, the game has stronghold missions, which are basically side missions where you take over a gang's territory. They've all got unique context to the missions, and they're mostly fine. In this one, we have to collect the map, which has all the trailer park drug labs marked on them. We need to blow them up. Once that's done, we get to one of the most annoying things about the game. Your territories can be attacked, so now you have to waste time by recapturing that area. Look, I'd be fine with not receiving income in that area, but when you drive through that area, your GPS gets cancelled and you're immediately entered into a free roam mission. So you have to take the area back unless you want to keep getting annoyed by the game. You can luckily shoot people while in the vehicle, so at least you won't have to exit the car. We die and see a new activity. Heli assault is a garbage activity. You fly an attack helicopter, which sounds like fun, but in reality most of the time you float in the air, killing a single enemy every 10 seconds or so. All it is you clicking right click every once in a while. It's just so grating and boring. This is a glimpse into a bad mission structure habit the game gets into. Moments where you're not in control and where you have to go at the pace of the AI or the scripting. And when that happens, everything comes to a crawl. People driving supercars at 25 miles per hour and shit. Fuck this bullshit. 25 minutes to do 4 levels. Yeah, I quit. Another stronghold. We kill some crackheads in a peep show and destroy drug labs, which blow up in the most limp-dick way possible. Shrek also super slams a helicopter. At this point I have dual pistols which have infinite ammo, and which are powerful as fuck. You'll be seeing me use these ones the most throughout the game. Last stronghold. Somebody are recruiting university students. We kill the recruiters and commit mass murder in the student union building. Fun. Oh, we also take back that territory, yeah. Next mission, Shondi's kidnapped by a veteran child, who turns out is Shondi's ex. Sounds like a weird coincidence, but trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if Shondi also managed to bring out the sunshine in Mr. Sunshine at some point. The twerp goads us into getting Shondi, but he gave us the wrong location. We go to the right location this time, use the flashbang to kill veteran child, and the mission's done. The game has more than a couple of these types of boss fights, usually 2 or 3 per gang. It exposes the formula behind these stories, which I won't really spoil. Luckily, they aren't too strict about following the formula to the letter, and so it isn't too predictable. Next up, we have to destroy more drug labs. Honestly, this is getting a bit repetitive now. While we destroy, let's talk about the gunplay. It's basic, but there's something oddly satisfying about it. People don't really react to gunshots, but they most certainly die quickly. No canned death animations either, everyone just kind of flops to the ground. Sure, not the most cinematic or the most polished way to do it, but it scratches a weird itch for me, so I'm happy with that. The weapon variety itself is very bare bones. 7 weapon types, 2 of them melee. Pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, specials, and grenades. Each of these has a couple or maybe even 3 weapons. So a slight variety, but mainly just very basic choices. Back in Shrek's world, we've been busy. An entire district's on fire. No, seriously, it's actually on fire, even in the game. The general's displeased, to say the least, and so he plans to directly talk to us. Also, they mention a lucrative shipment. Mike Myers is minding his own business when the limo slides in, and out of it pop 2 goons. For some reason, cutscene ogres aren't as strong as they are in-game, so we get knocked out. We wake up in the limo, get high from the hotbox, and get thrown out after we take the party a bit too far. Seems that in the meanwhile, our hideout's been under siege, so we rush to defend it. After killing 71 zombies, we take a deserved nap. We buy a mechanic shop and tune our car. The car customization is split into 3 parts. Performance mods, which are completely function-based upgrades that basically just upgrade the strength or the speed of the car, as well as add spiked wheels and shit. Then there are body mods, which change the actual body of the car and the model of the car. Then last, and for me the least, the actual colors. It's just that, colors for your car. I find that to always be the least interesting aspect in modifying cars in games, but others like it, and so it's not like you can just have body mods while not having the option to have a pink car. Speaking of colors, it's weird that there's like 100 different colors instead of just having a color wheel. Anyways, I create my swampmobile and get out. Next, mission. We find out where the shipments are being delivered, so Pierce drives us around while we explode some helicopters. It's another one of these on-rails turret sections, and it's as dull as all the others. The general, again unhappy, gives Mr. Sunshine some plastic surgery as a reward. What a nice gent. Stronghold mission. We destroy fish and boats and then a bigger boat. It's fine. We try out the zombie uprising game, which is boring as all hell. You kill zombies, and then you kill giants with heads at the back of their necks. It's just a mess. When I played this as a kid, it felt so amazing as well, but damn, this is just tedium at its finest. Let's take a moment to talk about the city. It's serviceable, I won't deny that, but I will say it's too large for its own good. You can drive in a straight line with nothing to look at for half a minute. It's just dull. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard city area, various districts, nothing that stands out however. Mr. Sunshine tells crackheads that there is no shipment and sends them after us. Shrek, Shondi, and Price defend the warehouse and move the product to Fort Saint. Oh, and Shrek also kneecaps a drug addict. Shrek's had enough, and he goes after Mr. Sunshine to thank him for the stolen shipment and to send him gratitude for sending the crackheads. Turns out this dude's an actual voodoo fella, so we have to make him drop his doll to damage him. Honestly, even his death scene manages to make him look pretty creepy.
This fight is far from over. You think that will stop me?
For fuck's sake, die!
Time to find the general. The problem is that the fucker keeps spazzing around the map with his limo. So, to speed up the process, we disguise ourselves as repairmen and then crash the desktop. Wait, fuck. We get the disguise to go to the police station with Shondi and get a direct line into the traffic cameras. A nice boy with a fedora spots the limo and off we go to take out the general. We ambush him near the mall where the limo gets smashed by a bus. We take out the bodyguards and move in for the kill, but the fucker gets away and runs into the mall. We hunt him down when suddenly he steps into a literal Humvee with a minigun. Alright, who wins this fight? An armored Humvee with 4 train killers or one swampy boy with an ATV? If you bet on the swampy boy, you're correct. This is the end of the Sons of Zombie. We finally established a legitimate foothold in Stillwater. But it's time to listen to what your doctor keeps telling you. We need to be active, so let's do some activities. We try our hand in the races again, get a bronze, even when trying. Fuck this shit. We get a list of people we need to kill for the Hitman diversion. It's a freeform diversion, so you can actually do it while free roaming. Probably the most inoffensive way to create a side activity. I never really bothered with them other than the first kill. We throw our talents around the Stillwater job market and so we get into the crowd control activity. You are a bodyguard for a celebrity and throw people around if they get rowdy. For some reason, you also need to earn enough arbitrary money for these kills. The reality is that you have to use the tools given to you, instead of just beating everyone to death. It's a fun activity for sure. Throwing people into propellers of buildings and into drills is a fun distraction. Let's talk about cars for a moment. The driving physics are weird. It's easy to get a hang of driving in this game, but it never stops feeling alien to a certain extent. Your suspension will always make you feel like you're suspended on jelly, and so you'll keep bouncing around a lot. The steering can feel rigid as well, depending on the vehicle. No car truly handles perfectly, and it's a shame. Though, in the game's defense, its direct competitor GTA 4 isn't really known for the best driving physics either. The cars never reach their logical speed limits. Instead, the fastest cars in the game drive only marginally fast than the average car, which just amplifies the problem I had with the city design. Luckily, the vehicle variety is great, with all the gangs having their own vehicles, there being a bunch of unique vehicles, and also a couple of novelty ones. Driving gets a thumbs up for me. We find another hitman target who I beat to death. Then we go to the next activity. Trailblazing. Honestly, this could have been an amazing event. It's good enough to even have a minor standalone title just around this mode. But I digress. The driving physics are way too stiff, and the vehicle just bounces around and is too unwieldy to actually have a smooth ride with. It's chaotic, so I get it's not the perfect handling, but I kept driving into shit like a senior driver with an expired license. It's nearly unplayable. Not only that, the game's so terribly optimized that these explosions and effects lower the frame rates to sub 30 FPS. Fuck off out of here with that bullshit. Speaking of performance, might as well get this out of the way. I mentioned I'm running a mod. But what I didn't mention was that before the mod, the game ran at 25 FPS for me on average, with a 1060. It's a notoriously shit port, but I never expected it to be this bad. With the mod, however, the averages rose around to 40 FPS. The settings are numerous in the game, but the HDR setting makes the game look much uglier, even though it reduces performance by 25%. And also, motion blur just exists twice in the settings. Not sure why and which is the correct one, but it's obvious that they never gave a shit, if they didn't even check their options menu a single time. Let's take on gang numero dos, the Ronin. We start off with Pierce giving us an elaborate plan for a casino heist. We sneak in and distract the... yeah, Gat ain't having it. We're going in head on. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, and we got some cash. After the mission, we're introduced to Shogo, the son of Japan's biggest crime lord. A spoiled brat. Also Junichi, who's a stoic warrior. Next mission, we see the police chief, who's voiced by Michael Rappaport, by the way, commenting on the heist. Looking at the security footage, it's greatly exemplified how out of place everyone is in the Shrek's world here. I'm glad they put some more appropriate characters in the movie franchise. Time to launder some money. We buy an expensive car, an expensive gun, and sell them to the fence. Which triggers another boring on-rails turret mission. Great. Shogo's dad's disappointed and says that he's coming to Stillwater. We are on our way to... wait. Oh my god. What is this beauty? This gorgeous automobile. Oh my god. I need it. We quickly buy a crib to stash this masterpiece. We also furnish the crib while we're here. The game has style points which you earn through buying clothes and mainly through upgrading your cribs. Enough style points and you get a style level. Each level increases the respect you get for everything you do. It's pointless. We take our noble steed and ride it to find a mechanic to pimp it up. On our way, we get a proper vest for our cosplay and also a better shirt. It's all coming together now. We come across a stronghold, so we take it out. Basically just a bunch of killing and destroying porn servers. You know, the usual. Visually, this game's a mixed bag. You have the hallmarks of a modern 360 title. Fancy effects and ragdoll physics. Fire creates distortion effects and nothing's truly ugly or anything. Most things you see are either completely flat or angular. The interiors get the worst of it, with everything looking ridiculously artificial. It's on the levels of the original Deus Ex, just scaled up. It's weird to see. However, nothing truly turns me off from the game, but you won't be catching me praising the visuals either. We finally pimp our fast food ride into a fast food ride. Well, as fast as this bucket goes. Another stronghold. Kill Ronin in a strip club in a gun-ho action scene. It's actually one of the more fun and cinematic strongholds, and I enjoyed it a lot. The game has these CDs you can pick up, which add songs to your radio, which is such a great idea. Expanding music libraries through extra activities in-game is such a great addition, and I'm surprised no one does it. Also, the reason you hear no music in the game is because it's all copyrighted. I'm a channel with 40 subs, so I still won't fuck around with this. We meet up with Gat, who finds out that his house is under Ronin surveillance thanks to the money having been stashed there at one point. Gat has to stay inside to clean the brains off the floor while Shrek takes the matters into his own hands and takes out some of the Ronin. We find out that Shogo is working with Dave Vogel, the leader of the Ultor Corporation. Next mission, and it shows that Saints Row isn't just fucking around and joking about obscene shit all the time. Other than the glitched cutscene, it's a great dramatic moment. Aisha, Gat's wife, gets killed by Junichi. Gat fights him, but gets stabbed after Shriek yells another catchphrase. We get Gat to the hospital after another turret section. Fuck me. Gat's life's on the line, and yet we let this random cunt drive us around to the hospital at like 40 miles per hour, like it's a Sunday drive. Unbelievable. While Gat's recovering, we go for another stronghold mission. This one's one of the weaker examples. You could push through random areas to end up at a meet where you destroy boats, while in reality you could have just driven past them with no worries and destroyed the boats regardless. Pierce finds out where Akuji, Shogo's father, is landing. Time to take him out. We assault the airport, but fail to find him. Turns out Junichi saw us bumbling down the stairs and got Akuji out of there. Cool. Akuji hates Shogo, and it's more than evident. Shriek wanted to help people, so he decided to drive a taxi for a bit. Yeah, the taxi diversion stole his dishwater. A waste of time. We get a call from Shogo, who anonymously tells us where Junichi is. The boy's jealous and bitter. We reach the location and we get a weird departure from the gameplay. There's this half-baked and clunky sword fighting system which we use to fight Junichi and his goons, complete with counters and all that jazz. It's such an odd thing that even now I'm confused as to why they suddenly did something like that for what is effectively a single fight. Akuji mourns the loss of Junichi, and Shogo's disappointed his dad isn't loving him still. Stronghold. We destroy an underground casino. Good stuff. The game has weird animations. I'm not talking about the anti-gravity ragdolls or the goofy running, but also the fact that the cutscenes go out of sync with the actors. So you'll see flames floating, desks inching away from people, and guns teleporting away. It's honestly just really weird to see. It never detracted from the experience, just noteworthy enough to mention, but not enough to chastise the game for. Another retaking of a territory. God damn it, might as well talk about the cruise system then. You can hire homies. Over time you can get more and more, up to 3. They hold their own in a fight, but the main issue comes with their pathing and decision making. They constantly run into fires, get confused when changing a floor, or just going around a corner, and they can often just feel really brain dead. But when they're there and doing their job, they do it well and you'll be glad they're there. This is undoubtedly an improvement from the lemmings you had in GTA San Andreas. They also have decent weapons, so you don't have them just using beginner pistols or bats. Assault rifles, and if they're in a car, SMGs or pistols. As a bonus, they'll pick up better weapons, so don't get spooked when your homie blows him or herself up with an RPG out of nowhere. They're essentially invincible though, since when they get downed you'll have 30 seconds to pour urine on them, which revives them. We visit Gat in the hospital, and it seems we're under attack by the Ronin. What precedes is an awkward action scene where we push his weightless gurney around. You can turn with ease, yet also the max running speed is like half the sprinting speed. Needless to say, the mission's a bit of a nuisance mostly. We evacuate Gat to the hideout. On the other side of the field, Akuji's unhappy with the deal Shogo made with Vogel, and they part their ways. Next mission and... oh shit, Vogel just waltzed in. Literally telling us where the Ronin keep their lieutenants, placing himself as a hostage to prove it's not a trap. Ballsy move. Gat and Shrek move to the hotel in what is one of the most cinematic missions. We move up the hotel, planting bombs, and then dive off the top floor into the lobby, opening our parachute at the last moment. A great moment. Moving on, it's Oisha's funeral, and Shogo, like the spoiled cunt he is, comes and attacks us. Gat's beyond pissed. We kill 17 Ronin and go after Shogo. Another great story moment delivered by the game. It's dramatic, gritty, and fucking terrifying. It's impressive how they managed to switch tones like that.
Where are you taking me? Let me go! Get up. Get up.
not so fun when you're fighting someone who isn't tied to a chair, is it?
I didn't kill her!
You ordered it.
I'm sorry.
Well, that brings her back, doesn't it? You couldn't even let her have a burial, you fucking piece of shit.
No, please. No. Kill me, please, but don't do this. Just kill me, damn it. Don't do this. God.
Gat and Shrek are shooting cans when suddenly some old dude walks in. Seems he was a big character in the first game. We get some top-notch cutscenes, action scenes, and we have to do a shitty defense mission for some support pillars. Then Akuji jumps in the mix, does some weird samurai move, which involves him getting shot dozens of times, and then we get one of the coolest cutscenes in the game. Akuji looks around and sees how his plan failed, how his people, his legacy, is being mowed down like grass. It's a great scene.
Unhand me.
We go to the last mission and fuck, crash. Well, back in the game, a festival takes place. Gat does some badass stuff and the old guy tries to tango, and Shrek is called into the service. For some arbitrary reason, the game demands us to drive a jet ski behind a helicopter, which is throwing exploding barrels at us. Even now I don't really know how to truly avoid them. It's just a messy drive. While I fail, let's talk about boats. I don't really know of any game of this type that's actually done boats justice. Water is usually an obstacle, not a real area. It's more of a substitute for invisible walls and a way to decorate some areas. So the boats get the same treatment. They're more of a way to just get out of water rather than be on it. Other than this helicopter forcing us to maneuver, usually most boat rides will just be you moving straight for a couple of minutes. Right, we get to the docks and we kill some Ronin. Akuji pushes out onto some boats, which are inexplicably slightly on fire. We move across the boats until we reach the old man. Whoop, there goes our old boy. This is the last katana fight we'll have. But unlike Junichi's fight, the enemy now only has one katana and there are no goons. The difficulty curves completely the opposite way around here. Regardless, we do some acupuncture on Akuji and get out of there. Scratch the Ronin off the list, since they're now eliminated. 2 out of 3 done, the Brotherhood's the last one on our list. But before we get into it, we need to check out the last activities. Drug trafficking is the first on our list, and it's just a third section. Fuck this, I'm out. Second is insurance fraud, which is the most iconic activity of any Saints Row game. Basically, you get run over by cars and rack up a major insurance payout. Your ragdoll flies around, so it's generally pretty fun. Though with this specific game, the traffic despawns randomly, and is so sparse that it's hard to actually get hit by anything. Shrek also kidnapped 2 people for $500. Yeah, that was more of a personal decision rather than a financial one. Oh, the game crashed. Great. The third activity is Snatch, where you gather prostitutes and bring them back to the brothel from abusers. It's a boring mission thanks to the slow AI and the activity for most of the time. Fourth is Mayhem, which is actually what it claims to be. Destroy enough property and you win. I didn't really care for this one either. Am I just running out of good activities? Fifth is Demolition Derby, and this one's a total curveball. So, this is a classic Demolition Derby, but you can upgrade your car with points you get over time. So you can choose a car amongst 4 different ones. Then you can upgrade speed, defense, or offense. All these upgrades also change the visuals of the car. It's awesome. The weird part, however, comes in with how you win. You don't win through surviving. Instead, you win by causing monetary damage. So in the last level I survived, but didn't cause enough damage to win. It's odd how they decided to do that one. Regardless, it's a pleasant surprise. Time to buy some cribs with our cash. We got a university loft, a dock, and a prison lighthouse, which honestly looks pretty bitchin'. Back to the story. Unlike the Sons of Samdi, who had the most classic and logical story, with actual financial operations, or like the Ronin, who had crazy drama and extreme stylization all around, the Brotherhood takes a middle-of-the-road approach. It's gang bullshit in the most generic gang in the game. But the story for this one is the best in my opinion. We meet up with Mero, and it's obvious that he's a big and dangerous guy. We get ambushed by the cops and we bolt to Mero's hideout. He seems like a pretty decent guy. The dynamic's immediately different here. We actually see behind the scenes here. We see how the other side lives. We also see multiple characters immediately, with Jessica, Mero's girlfriend, Donnie, the mechanic, and Matt, the tattoo artist. He offers us to work with him, a split of 20-80. Shrek declines and neither parties are too pleased. So Shrek's gonna pull some shit. Seems he knows Donnie from the first game. He coerces him to set bombs on the cars and blow them up. Why couldn't we just shoot him? I don't know. Mero's pissed at Donnie, and we immediately see how his aggressive nature can quickly unravel his seemingly close-knit group of friends. The mission itself, however, is boring and slow. Stronghold time. 3 drug departments need to be raided. We do it. It's a grand old time. We meet up with Carlos, who said we can't get any more information thanks to what Donnie did. Shrek is disappointed, but he's still friendly with him regardless, saying he'll make him a gangbanger yet. In the meanwhile, we go steal nuclear waste and replace it with his tattoo ink. Story-wise, this is one hell of a leap, but alright. We fuck around waiting for the helicopter evac. Mero gets scarred, and we move on. Time to get another stronghold out of the way. The Brotherhood hold a protection racket in Chinatown, and so we destroy shit to get people aboard supporting us instead. Next mission, we get flashed by my Fallout 3 character, and Jessica calls us.
Carlos, where the fuck are you?
I think your people skills need some work, sweetie.
Jessica, how'd you like Mero's new tattoo?
Actually, I think it's pretty sexy. Rugged, tough.
Radioactive.
That's cute.
I try. Now what the fuck do you want?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that since you were nice enough to give my man a makeover, I should return the favor. Don't worry, by the time we're through with him, Carlos will look just as handsome as Mero.
Listen up, you fucking
Of course,
bitch.
I don't have access to the same materials you did, but you know, I figure we can make do.
When I find you...
I mean, I'm sure you'll do something scary. Do me a favor, when you're scraping up your buddy's face, just remember, Mero gave you a chance to be his partner.
They've got Carlos. We find Donnie, beat him up to get Carlos's location. The fuckers are dragging him with a chain behind the car. We stop the truck, but it's too late. Carlos is too far gone. Well, that's what Shrek thinks. Honestly, I think it's kind of retarded for him to just kill Carlos like that. It's like hospitals stopped existing. To be fair though, the Shrek universe only has witches and alchemy. It's not like Gat had a great time in the hospital either. I'll be honest, as a kid, that scene freaked me the fuck out. Even today, I flinch when I see a similar death in any movie or game. It's just way too brutal for me. This also explains why Carlos was nowhere to be seen until the Brotherhood questline. Stronghold time. We steal a Brotherhood van, follow another van to a business meeting, and we kill everyone there. Next mission. Shondi's playing hacky sack when Jessica randomly bumps into her. Huh. Okay. Well, she tells us she's in a bank. We go there and take her hostage and fight our way out, with her in tow. We pack her in the trunk and drive to the arena. Mero's there, doing his monster truck thing. Honestly, what's the point in what he's doing? Whatever, he lands on her car, killing Jessica. Mero and Shrek are in a dick measuring contest to see which person can do the most fucked up shit. It's insane to see, but it's also believable. I guarantee you've been in a situation where someone escalates shit for no reason. This is basically that, just even more extreme. Well, next mission. We steal a fireworks truck and take it to the venue where Matt's playing. The Brotherhood have a shipment coming in. Sounds like deja vu. Anyways, we need the location, so here's where Matt comes in. Fucking yikes, this is getting more and more brutal. Remember how happy-go-lucky it all was during the Sons of Somebody stuff? Stronghold time! Worst stronghold. We initiate an airport hangar, kill people and download files. Then we go outside and destroy 4 cars and then destroy 4 planes. So what's the issue? The enemies have RPGs at random points, so you can get just killed in one shot. Also, the planes actually take off and fly away. Also, the enemies are pretty numerous when destroying the planes. I died like 6 or 7 times during that mission. And here's where my last main point of criticism comes in. Most of the game I had no issues. Mainly deaths occurred when I did stupid stuff and when the game messed up. But suddenly, Mero's guys seem to soak up way more bullets, and they have better aim, and they have better weapons. It's a huge spike in difficulty. Going from SMGs and assault rifles to RPGs is a bit much. Okay, next mission. The Brotherhood are on a total offensive for our turfs, and everyone's getting arrested. Time to kill 4 lieutenants. The driving AI is suddenly really aggressive, so it takes time to kill them. After the mission, Mero visits Vogel and gets him to release the Brotherhood members from custody, through good negotiation tactics. Next mission, we destroy those prison transports that had the Brotherhood soldiers on them. Vogel is prepared this time with a witty retort, main wit coming from the massive guns. We find the shipment. It's a little ship we have to board. So we go, take out the people, and defend the fucker for 3 waves. Turns out it's a weapon shipment, so the Saints are now kitted out. It's time to attack the Brotherhood hideout. We face Mero and defeat him pretty easily, but he gets away. Time for our last confrontation. We're in a ring with a bunch of trucks in the arena. Mero almost had us dead to rights if it weren't for that handy concrete wall. Well, in any case, Shreyx finally reclaimed the swamp and he can finally have his desired rest. 3 gangs defeated and he won. Wait, what's that? Another mission. Oh. No. We wrapped this entire thing up and you know it, game. You know this should be a done deal. Fuck. Okay, let's go. We launch a mission from a public fountain. Yeah, probably a way to flip us off anyway. Okay, look, let's stay optimistic. Maybe Outta brings something fun to the table. Your boy Vogel talks about plans for renovating a new district by moving in gangs to lower the property value of the area. After which, Otta buys everything up, increases the police budget, drives the gangs out and therefore earns money. So in this mission we... Wait, it was just a cutscene? Alright, yeah, next mission. We're drinking in a bar when Otta sends an armed force to take us out. After a snazzy cutscene, we're tasked with also saving Pierce and Shondi. Back at base, I have to agree with Pierce. I signed up for fighting gangs, not fighting a PMC in urban warfare. Last stronghold of the game. We go in the mall, which, by the way, is its own massive area, though, like any other interior area, it's barren and empty. We kill some Otta execs and get out. Mall skirmishes are cute, but this game's outstaying its welcome in a major way. Next mission and we crash. Fuck this port. Right, next mission and our goal is to infiltrate an Otta secret research base. For that we need to distract them. So off we go to Saints Row and cause havoc. Now that we've got their attention, it's time to lose it and go to the research base. On our way there we crash again. Oh no, don't tell me that you're becoming really unstable now. I need to finish this up. Right, once again, we get Otta's attention. This time, though, I've prepared and got the General's Humvee, which has homing missiles and a minigun turret which is remotely controlled. Let's just say it was easier to create havoc in this. We reach a sewer and awkwardly scale a wall to get to the base where Gat's waiting for us. We blow the base up and we see that Vogel's held back by his executives, who are skittish about Vogel's actions and how strongly the Saints have responded. What the fuck did they expect? We own the city. All the districts. Right, Vogel contacts us anonymously and gets us to kill all the executives, who have conveniently gone on a yacht for a party. A lot of coincidences here. Shrek's not the smartest ogre in the swamp, so he kills them all, leaving Vogel to take the reins. Shrek buys a new crib, which looks like all the other cribs. The gang life isn't bringing the joys it used to. Wine stops tasting as great after you've had your 1 millionth sip. It's all just riches now. He's acclimated. But he must push on. Shrek and Gat have planned an assassination of Vogel. Gat's supposedly a total badass, yet he gets overpowered by a single part-time minimum wage guard, and the plan's foiled. Fuck, okay, quick ramble incoming. Gat's the most inconsistent character in the game with his abilities. You'll see this even more in the next games, but Gat's portrayed as this badass who gives zero fucks, a demigod in the Saints Row universe. But then, he never actually proves it. He gets overpowered by a single guard, he takes out a couple of cars, and he basically proves himself to be a competent fighter. Yeah, but Pierce is also competent. And it's been shown in cutscenes as well as in the game, Pierce can hold his own in a fight. Yet here Gat is with his weird old man tinted seeing eye glasses, and he's supposed to be this force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Pierce and Shaundi somehow get into the building. Gat's shown to be a badass again, and we fly off into the sunset. The city's ours and we can do whatever the hell we want. We've amassed a good group of characters, and honestly, it's a fun send-off for the last cutscene. My main problem is that the last act even exists. Why did we have to battle Altar? If they had to fail, then maybe they might as well have failed together with the gangs. This was just an uncharacteristically short set of missions which broke the flow of the game. The storyline for them wasn't interesting, and it was just unnecessary filler. I imagine they probably had more planned for this, but they were rushed to completing the game, which is why we were left with whatever this mess was supposed to be. Whew! 13 pages into the script for this video. 8,468 words in total, by the way. 13 hours of footage, 14 of gameplay, and 163 gigabytes of video files. This was a fun ride throughout. Even the weaker aspects couldn't really stop the flow of this awesome title. We've still got 3 more Saints Row games to go through, so the fun's just starting. Will I cover them immediately? Nah, but I will. I want to, and I think they would be fun to talk about. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this until the end. Or listen to it. Whichever it is, I appreciate you anyways. I honestly don't know how long this will end up being, but it's the longest script I've written by a long shot, and this will be the most intensive workload I've had for a video as of yet. If you enjoyed this, then please subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, like it. Honestly, if you've got a friend who might like this video, share it to them as well. Thanks for watching.